$50,982.82 is what I manifested in 6 months with Joe Dispenza's meditation technique. Now, I want to add into this that I actually did this without a job.
So how does someone who's jobless make 50K in 6 months? Let me show you.
The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth.
And you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. And I think right now, the cool thing is that people are waking up.
Years ago when I started working, I never earned more than 12 to 15K a year.
So of course my natural reaction was, how can someone like me earn this amount of money?
We see all these testimonials of people talking about how they really changed their life, how they made more money.
Popped my credit card into the pay machine and just started spewing out $100 bills.
At $315 more a month, it was like $131,000.
And it really begs the question, is it possible for someone like me or someone like you watching this video? Bear in mind this question as I'm going to answer it in the end. So you've watched this and you've probably already heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's like a new age Jesus, helping people heal from being blind to being able to see, from paralyzed to walking, and from broke to wealthy. And that's why you're here. So let me take you back a minute, back to 2020.
I could have given up when I was told people like us just don't make it. I could have given up when I was an anxious mess. I could have given up when I was taking drugs all the time.
Most people's businesses went under. My business began to boom. How I manifested £7,945 and 20p in a matter of 2 weeks, when in the past 2 years, I earned maybe £6,000. As I said, I went from really earning no more than 1,000 in a month to over 9,000 collected and another 2,000 pending in 1 month. This blew my mind. When I started making money, I started investing in my business. I started buying new equipment. I was able to buy my sister an Apple Watch. I was able to give people money. I was able to help friends out and give them a bit of cash.
He told me that when he came to our work, he didn't have $2 to rub together. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. And he just keeps giving it away.
Now, from no money to 50K in 6 months, you're probably assuming that now I'm making hundreds of thousands every year and living the life of my dreams out in Mexico.
Now, if I'm being honest, I am living the life of my dreams out in Mexico, but I'm not making hundreds of thousands of pounds yet. Notice how I said the word yet.
And let me tell you the reality of a financial success journey. As Dr. Joe Dispenza explains, when you hear about people who are financially successful, you actually hear that they made a load of money, they lost a load of money, then they made it back again.
I don't know what it'd be like to be abundant. Well, then go read a few books on people who actually became abundant and realized it wasn't a glorious process. They failed miserably. They got betrayed. They learned a lot of lessons, but they persevered. And what are the qualities of that person that you could embody? That's the key, right? Because it's not about wealth. It's who you become.
I'm here in Mexico. The last 2 months I've struggled to pay rent. From going from spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month, just in general, to struggling to find about £600 to £700 for rent. It's a scary thing. No matter what's happening externally, I still feel wealthy internally.
In order for us to become abundant, we have to overcome the old personality.
And for me, that keeps me secure knowing that it's going to happen regardless. My mindset is that it is inevitable. And before I explain 5 things that Joe Dispenza talks about to really allow these shifts in your life to make more money, I just want to tell you this. Just because I made it doesn't mean I kept it. And I was smart about it. I didn't spend it stupidly. I really didn't. I invested it all in my business and I invested some into some crypto and I made quite a bit of money. More than I've ever seen in my life personally. And after losing it all, it made me think, I need to build something that has a residual income or something with recurring payments. And that's why I'm so focus driven on YouTube, because it ticks all the boxes. I'm able to help people for free, I'm able to make money from it, and I'm able to make videos. 3 things that I really enjoy to do. So the moment you've been waiting for, 5 things that you can do in order to make 50K in the next 6 months. So the first thing that Joe Dispenza talks about is programming and habitual thinking.
Well, a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. So if you think about it, people wake up in the morning, they begin to think about their problems. Those problems are circuits of memories in the brain. Each one of those memories are connected to people and things at certain times and places. And if the brain is a record of the past, the moment they start their day, they're already thinking in the past. Each one of those memories has an emotion. Emotions are the end product of past experiences. So the moment they recall those memories of their problems, they all of a sudden feel unhappy, they feel sad, they feel pain. Now, how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So the person's entire state of being when they start their day is in the past. And then they go through a series of routine behaviors. They get out of bed on the same side, they go to the toilet, they get a cup of coffee, they take a shower, they get dressed, they drive to work the same way, they do the same things, they see the same people, they push the same emotional buttons, and that becomes the routine, and it becomes like a program. So now they've lost their free will to a program, and there's no unseen hand doing it to them. So when it comes time to change, the redundancy of that cycle becomes a subconscious program. So now 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions that function like a computer program.
They're in their early ages, their brainwaves are very slow. Like their brainwaves are in alpha when they're like 7 to 12, they're in theta when they're like 2 to 6 years old, and they're in delta like when they're newborn to 2 years old. And so these brainwave states are states that were really suggestible to information.
So when we hear information, we believe it.
And we accept it, we believe it, we surrender to it as if it's the truth without analyzing it, because there's no analytical facilities yet.
So I'm a hypnotherapist, and I understand how the subconscious mind works, how programming works. And as Joe Dispenza explains, from ages 0 to 7, we're in a very hypnotic state of mind. We accept everything. We are like a sponge. Therefore, the language we speak, the accent we have, is based on our surroundings. So what do you think your money beliefs are when there's people around you telling you that we've got no money, all of this happens? It starts to build an inner belief within us. So we really need to understand what are our core beliefs and what do we want to believe around money. And then it comes down to auto-suggestion for yourself. Writing down affirmations are quite powerful, but they're not the sole leader in making right changes. For me, rather than writing an affirmation, I tend to ask myself a question. Rather than saying, I am a multi-millionaire, I say, what do I need to do in order to become a multi-millionaire? What character traits do I need? The second thing is the lack versus abundant mindset. Are you living from a state of lack or are you living from a state of abundance?
The person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's causing an effect, right? So then if you can teach people then how to create, instead of from lack or separation, but create from wholeness, and create from what we call the quantum field instead of three-dimensional reality.
For me, I choose to live from a state of abundance, even when I am lacking. That doesn't mean I'm stupid and I spend my money stupidly, but I don't limit myself. And this is something that actually really came up for me when I did hypnosis on myself. And if you want to understand self-hypnosis, just click this video up here, or if you want my help, just send me a message. But when I did hypnosis on myself, I figured out that my main problem was living in scarcity and I had nothing, versus what I should be doing is living in an abundant mindset when I don't have anything. Because living in an abundant mindset when you don't have anything is giving off the vibration and the energy that you have it. The real nail in the coffin for this is really living from a state of gratitude. What are you truly grateful for? Like Joe Dispenza says, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership.
So the next and most important is about overcoming your old personality.
It's about change. So then when we finally realize, in order for us to become abundant, We have to overcome the old personality. And that's 95% of who we are, right?
Yes.
So then, the side effect of the beginning of this process is a lot of discomfort. It is a lot of discomfort because you're stepping outside the known into the unknown, and now you can't predict.
It's scary.
No,
It's
you'd
fearful,
rather
so-
hold on to your lack.
The pain, the
and
suffering.
Rather tell the story of that. At least it makes you feel something that's familiar. When you step outside and you're saying, I'm not going to complain about money any longer. I'm not going to complain about I don't have any. I'm not going to judge other people who do. I'm not going to say I can. I'm not worthy. It's never going to work. All those things got to go. I'm not going to feel lack. I'm not going to feel unworthy. I'm not going to feel separation. I'm not going to feel resentment. These are the things that are keeping my reality the same. Now it's no longer about abundance, about who you become. So the overcoming process becomes the becoming process. And so many people come to this work, they want abundance, they want healing, they want a new relationship, they want a new career, they want the mystical, but really, they want wholeness.
Have a clear intention and combine it with an elevated emotion.
Long-term memories are created
With
from
a new
strong
emotion,
emotion.
yes.
Right, but if the amplitude of that emotion is greater than the betrayal, boom, the body starts responding to the mind, and you're actually giving your body a taste of the future emotionally. So you brand your...
What's possible.
No, your body's actually getting the taste of that future event.
It's experiencing the future now.
Now,
A taste
exactly.
of it,
Big
yeah.
explosion in the quantum field. Big explosion. So the side effect of that is if you combine that clear intention with that elevated emotion, you're basically remembering your future, and it looks no different than remembering your past.
And then when you attach a clear intention with an elevated emotion, so the clear intention of making more money, of creating success, with an elevated emotion of peace, joy, happiness, abundance, fulfillment, that's when Joe Dispenza says that that's where you draw it to you.
The fifth and final one is, if you lose money, still live from a state of abundance. Learn the lessons, carry on, keep going.
And people who are truly abundant have no problem with losing things.
What I was going to ask you next was, let's say you make $1 million in your business, but then you invested a lot in the stock market or whatever, and then half of it goes away overnight.
Who doesn't have that happen?
Right.
Every abundant person has that happen.
Right.
And their response is minimal.
So what should people be thinking when they lose a lot of money or they lose something?
Don't lose the lesson. You may lose the money, but don't lose the lesson.
This lesson cost me £18,000, and I'm going to show you how you cannot be greedy and you can keep your £18,000. So yes, I'm still low-key frustrated with this. Well, when I say low-key, I actually really mean high-key frustrated with this, because it still really quite annoys me when I think about it. But here's the lesson that I got from this £18,000 loss. So I want to see your goals. In the next 6 months, I want you to come back to this video and I want you to say what has changed because of the things that you've implemented in this video. Now, if you want to understand Joe Dispenza's breathing technique, click this video here.